Eden is the latest film from Ron Howard based on the shocking true story in the Galápagos in 1929. So today, let's see if it's worth your time. Based on a factual account of a group of outsiders who settle on a remote island only to discover their greatest threat isn't the brutal climate or deadly wildlife, but each other. This film has a stacked cast with Vanessa Kirby, Ana de Armas, Sydney Sweeney, Daniel Bruhl, and Jude Law.
Holy moly.
And Ron Howard's films lately have been like a hit and miss. And I was very curious about Eden since it is based on a true story where Dr. Friedrich Ritter and his wife Dora, played by Vanessa Kirby, flee their native Germany in 1929. They arrive on an island part of the Galápagos. There they're enjoying a peaceful life, but that is soon interrupted by Sydney Sweeney's character and her husband Daniel Bruhl and their child, and she is pregnant. They separate themselves, they enjoy their lives peacefully, but then they are interrupted once again, this time by Ana de Armas' character, who is this self-described baroness in the embodiment of perfection, and she has two devoted lovers with her. So we have a group of people on this island in the Galápagos. What seemed like this could be this peaceful way of living for everybody ends up turning into a brutal storyline of people controlling each other and the worst versions of themselves. What easily could have been this thrilling film from Ron Howard and this brutal look at people's way of life and how lack of food source turned them into the worst versions. It is a film that eventually feels wasted. You have such a great cast behind it that it ends up feeling like the potential for everybody's performance could have been much stronger. Ana de Armas gives the best performance in here. Her performance ranges from being seductive to sinister, and you don't know what you're gonna get with her. At times it feels a little bit campy that she's this wild card on this island and people don't know what to predict from her. But everybody else progresses to become the darker versions of themselves. And the challenges of coexisting with desperate neighbors capable of theft, deception, and so much more feels like a light part of this movie. There's a lot of setup for the characters, especially with Jude Law and Vanessa Kirby already on the island. Why are they on the island? What is their purpose of being there? And then you have to introduce Daniel Bruhl and Sydney Sweeney. And then you have to introduce Ana de Armas and her devoted lover. So there's a lot of time in the beginning setting up those characters and trying to have them coexist with each other, but certain moments like stealing food from each other start to have them not trust each other, and it becomes this sinister look at trying to coexist with neighbors on an island that already has lack of resources. But watching these characters' egos start to take control of everything, that's where the pacing feels a bit slow. It doesn't have that one scene in the film that just hits you and see these characters evolve into something more sinister. It's a slow progression for all of that, and I wish the pacing for it was a little bit quicker to get to more of those vicious moments. And this is based on a true story from 1929. And Sydney Sweeney's character Margaret was the last person alive, and she died in 2000. And Vanessa Kirby's character eventually left the island. She wrote her own story about what had happened, and Margaret, played by Sydney Sweeney, she wrote her own story as well. And there's a lot of things that happened on the island with Jude Law's character and Ana de Armas' character, and they try to touch on multiple points of what may or may not happen within this film. I think it becomes a little bit convoluted with the different accounts within the film. But I thought the performances were very strong. I think Vanessa Kirby was really underutilized. Ana de Armas is the standout within this movie. Sydney Sweeney was quiet within the movie. Jude Law gives an unhinged performance towards the end of the film. It's a bleak looking film from Ron Howard. He has directed some family fun films and some action films as well. This is more of a vicious film from him, and the darker color of it all gives it that bleak atmosphere that feels very cold-hearted. Certainly not my favorite film from Ron Howard, but the performances, the unraveling of the characters and controlling each other and exploring a dark true story, I I think he does a great job directing this film. It's just, I feel like it at times a wasted potential, especially with the cast within this movie. It's a bit boring at times. I think the pacing could have been a little bit quicker to get to the more exciting, thrilling moments of the film, but just that progression to get there felt a bit off. I'm gonna go ahead and give Eden a C+. Thank you guys for watching my review for Eden, the new Ron Howard film. Have you guys seen it by chance? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.